Auburn Hills. This afternoon, live from the Palace, it's the Pistons and the New Jersey Nets. Good afternoon, everybody. Happy New Year, and welcome to the excitement of NBA basketball. I'm George Blaha, live at the Palace with my partner, Special K himself, Gregory Kelser. And Greg, first off, Happy New Year to you and Donna and all the Kelsers.
George, and same to you and Mary and all the Blahas, my man.
All right, sir. And the Pistons come into this game feeling very, very good after their win over Orlando. And Greg, they did it with defense.
They certainly did. They were mighty impressive against a team that came in here winners of 24 out of 30 games. The Pistons had a defensive answer that night, and it started with Rasheed inside on Dwight Howard. Rasheed kept him off balance, disrupted his rhythm, allowed just 1 point of free throws from Howard in the first half, and that helped the team collectively get it together. Here's Jason Maxiell denying Gortat at the basket. When it was all said and done, I think the Orlando Magic left here knowing that the Pistons are still a hurdle that they have to get over to NBA supremacy.
And I think they left here knowing that the Pistons are much, much better with Antonio McDyess. Dice is now in a groove, and the 11 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and 1 steal he had against Orlando don't really tell the whole story.
They don't. George, there were a lot of sterling performances that night, but they don't win without Antonio McDyess coming off the bench with his brand of hustle, rebounding. Here takes a brutal blow to the rib cage. Went down, but folks, he got up, and when he did, hit this jumper from the corner to help the Pistons stave off the Orlando Magic. And it's going to take another, I think, performance like that from the Dice and others, because the Nets are coming in as one of the NBA's better road teams here today.
Are they ever? And the Nets have themselves a guard who the Pistons have had their difficulties with. Certainly they couldn't stop him November the 7th. At New Jersey. He put 38 on the Pistons that night.
George, he put 38 on the Pistons, but since that time he's put 47 on Phoenix. He's put 41 on Dallas. Devin Harris has been unstoppable. He can get into the lane against anybody. Shot 24 free throws that night against the Pistons. And they're going to have to figure out a way to stay in front of him and also get a hand up on his jumper. That's how good Devin Harris is, and the Pistons know that coming into this game now.
Greg, it's fun to watch him play. And add Vince Carter, and the Nets have 2 of the top 10 scorers in the league. They are really a dynamic duo, and they'll be a big part of Greg's game plan next.
Pistons basketball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Bud Light. The difference is drinkability. Comcast, better than Dish, especially in bad weather. Wallside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. And by Arby's. I'm thinking Arby's.
Happy New Year, everybody. An afternoon game at the Palace on this last day of 2008. Let's check the starting lineups for the visiting New Jersey Nets. Couple of 7-footers, second-year man E.G.N. Lien from China, and Brook Lopez, the rookie from Stanford, joining Bobby Simmons up front for the Nets. And that's one tough backcourt right there. Devin Harris and Vince Carter for New Jersey. And the Pistons starters presented to you today by Meyer look like this. Amir Johnson again for Rip Hamilton, still out with the left groin strain, joining Sheed and Tayshaun up front. And in the backcourt, Rodney Stuckey and a first ballot Hall of Famer for sure, Allen Iverson. And our Michigan Sports Hall of Famer Special K, Greg Kelser, is ready with his game plan presented by your Metro Detroit Ford dealers. Greg?
And soon to be joined by Michigan Sports Hall of Famer George Blaha. Thank you very much. You know, George, the Pistons committed just 4 turnovers against Orlando. You know what that deserves? A wow. And let's see you do it again, because anything close to that, and it's going to be very difficult for the Nets to beat the Pistons here at the Palace today. Secondly, the Pistons need to attack inside and do it often. After all, the New Jersey Nets right now, they commit the 2nd most fouls per game of any team in the NBA. So all the more reason to take it inside, get to the foul line. And then Devin Harris and Vince Carter. A very sound duo in the backcourt for the Nets. Right now averaging 47 points per game. And we know about Devin Harris. It is so difficult to stay in front of him. And when you try to back off of him, he can knock down the jumper. Very tough in the lane. And, of course, Vince Carter. What more can we say about him that hasn't already been said? He's fantastic, shoots the jumper, but still will remind you that he's one of the best sleepers in the league when he decides to take it inside.
Devin Harris needs to get ready for Rodney Stuckey. Interesting matchup there for at least part of the afternoon. It's the Pistons and the Nets next.
They're closing out the year with a bang, racking up 4 straight wins. The Pistons' longest winning streak since the trade that rocked the NBA. It was November 7th when Allen Iverson made his debut in Piston red, white, and blue. But it was Devin Harris who stole the show. The Nets lightning-quick point guard burned the Pistons for 38 points. Tonight, can he keep pace with a revved-up Piston attack? Looking to light up the Palace on New Year's Eve. The Pistons take on the Nets now on Fox Sports Detroit.
Welcome back to the Palace, everybody. Michael Curry with a 4-game winning streak and his team playing extremely well. Now at 18-11 on the season, despite the blockbuster trade early. Chauncey Billups for Allen Iverson, and despite not having Antonio McDyess for 30 days, there's Lawrence Frank, who missed the playoffs for the first time in 4.5 seasons last year, but has his team in the number 7 playoff spot and at 10-4 on the road so far this year. The officials for today's game: Danny Crawford, Pat Frayer, and Derek Stafford. And the one and only Eli Zaret standing by with our pre-tip-off piece of wisdom. Eli.
Hey, thanks a lot, George. You know, becoming a starter in the NBA is like winning a Senate seat. It's big, and it isn't easily taken away. Vinnie Johnson, who was good enough to start, you recall, won 2 titles here as a 6th man, and it was tough to sacrifice 500 to 1,000 minutes a year to Joe Dumars and Isaiah Thomas, but it's about the team, and it's about winning. Now, the Pistons love their small 3-guard lineup. When they need to go big with Amir Johnson or Kwame Brown starting, it means making either Rip, who's hurt tonight, or this guy, Allen Iverson, a modern-day Vinny. Curry is walking gingerly through the save. We haven't decided. Tough decision. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, like others, like the Spurs, he noted, have done it with Manu Ginobili. Now, this Piston team, has great potential. You see it. You see it especially lately. Who will become, though, this guard off the bench is a very intriguing question, and what I'm sure both you guys will agree has already been a very fascinating season thus far. Back to you.
Well, it has been. It doesn't seem like it's still December. So much has happened, Greg. And it's really a pleasure to have Allen Iverson in Piston blue. And there's a guy who loves being a Piston and who the fans love, Rasheed Wallace. I tell you what, this big guy can do so many things on both ends of the court. It is absolutely amazing.